Nikola Jokić drops 35, 15, and 7 against the Kings and barely misses shots. And then he follows that up with 55, 12, and 6 against the Los Angeles Clippers. Like I said it on the pod, I'll say it again. I feel like he is strengthening his claim as the best player in the league. But the question I'll toss to you, Steve, I wanted to hit you with a general, how do you even deal with Nikola Jokić? But I'll ask a more pointed question. Can you even double team Nikola Jokić if you want to?
I think that gets really interesting, especially considering some of the quotes from Ty Lue post-game where he was like, hey, yeah, we wanted to make Nikola Jokić score. Didn't think he'd get 55. And so for him, 55 points on 23 shots, only missed 5. I mean, the first quarter was absurd. We scored 25. Him kind of just leaning into the scoring is a little bit dynamic considering last year it felt like, hey, is he gonna put his head down and understand that he needs to score? There's no doubt this year. And I think it ties into one, I think that he was asked, he talked about how much he loves the second unit and a bunch of veterans who want to get after it. There's a comfort level with him, and Denver has always been notorious for moving him across and around the court. So you never know exactly where he's going to catch it. And he's so good at diagnosing your help defense that wherever the double's going to come from, he's seen it already and he's anticipating. So even as the Clippers decided not even to double to show help, Jokić gets, they run wedge action for him, rip him into the post. He gets a catch. If you're just there lingering for 0.7 seconds, he's firing it to a shooter. And so it's so much so that you get the combination of Jokić putting his head down, looking to score, reading the defense, knocking down the casual threes, which I think should be more appreciated. And then as soon as you showcase a level of, hey, can you stop? Vroom, the ball whizzes past your head.
It's nonsensical. Just to quickly bounce off of what you said there and just the box score itself. You mentioned 35, 15, and 7. You followed that up with 55, 12, and 6. Across those two games, Steve, 28 of 34 inside the arc. You mentioned the three-point shooting, 6 of 8 on threes across those two games. And like just the nonchalance of the threes that he takes, it always pops me visually. It's just like it's almost like he just takes a deep breath, like, oh, I guess I just have to take this one then. Oh, you're way back there. How dare you? Here's a shot. Barely jumping, it just goes through the net. It's just nuts. And then 16 of 19 from the line for good measure. But to the actual, can you double him? It seems like the answer has been no, at least not to the degree that we're accustomed to with Nikola Jokić. Just quickly on that front, his overall double team rate is just down from last season. And I think tied to that is something that you mentioned about the way that they move Nikola Jokić around. I think there's been more intention around getting him touches around the middle of the floor or getting him touches in the elbow area of the floor. So far this year, like to have some fun with like some of the second spectrum filtering and the touch data and stuff that they have, averaging around 26 touches per game around that elbow area. That's up from about 24 last year. When Jokić gets a touch in that area of the floor, it's an absurd 1.24 points per possession, which it's just nonsensical. That is elite. That is one of the best marks in the league. You filter for a certain amount of volume. Like he's just the best in that area. That's also up from last year. And on those touches around the elbow area, it was at 23% last year. It's down to 19% this year. Teams don't feel comfortable letting Jokić see where help is coming from. Because to your point, Steve, we can just get that sucker out of there. Or he can attack before the help even gets there. And he finishes there. And then when you get to just the middle of the floor, forget the elbows, top of the key. There are generally 3 different ways that the Nuggets get to these kind of touches with Nikola Jokić. You get some of the high pick and roll with him and Jamal Murray when they get to what I like to call the flat spacing alignment, which is simply a player in the left corner. So there you go.
The wings are clear.
The wings are clear. There you go. Thank you, Steve. But they get to that. Jamal Murray's able to get downhill, pocket past the Jokić. He can get to some of those floaters where he just does not miss any of those. Or if it's high enough and teams decide to switch it, then Jokić just stops around the free throw line area, puts the paw up, and now I'm taking you with me. You can't do anything about that. So you get the pick and roll stuff. You get the off-ball stuff, something that you've brought up in particular the last couple of years, Steve, the way that the Nuggets are comfortable running Jokić off of pin downs and different types of screening actions to get him touches in the middle of the floor. So you have that kind of fun stuff for him. And then you have your traditional half-court stuff. Well, let's just post them at the elbow. They're flowing out of horns. This is when you get into Jamal Murray setting these screens for Aaron Gordon, and he's cutting. And defenses just have not figured out what they want to do with that yet. Are we switching it all? We got to be crisp with the switch. If that guy in the corner is trying to cheat to deal with Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokić is firing that to Cam Johnson or Tim Hardaway Jr. or whoever else. They're knocking down shots from there. Teams just have not been able to figure that out. And so you look at the middle touches. It's 11 per game. That's up from last year. It's 1.27 points per possession, which is the best in the league. And once again, you can't double them from that area. About 20% last year, down to 16% this year. It's just absurd the way that he is able to dice up defenses to this degree.
Yeah, and I think overall, with what Denver has done, with some more initiation from Aaron Gordon, some more from Jamal Murray, just having different guys bring it up, it adds to the overall Jokić package, because now when he brings it up, he gets an screen from Jamal Murray. They go inverted pick and roll. Okay, where did that come from? You mentioned the elbow flashes and the middle touches. It's not just get it to him and cut around. They may run something and now he flashes to the elbow, and you don't know if he's flashing for a handoff or if he's flashing to catch, back you down, and attack. They may start a possession with him at the elbow, go pick and roll. Okay, he pops, it didn't work. Now he gets a screen. So it's not static right now to the point where we know exactly, okay, Jokić is going to get it in the post. We are going to double Jokić because it's this. They move him around the chessboard, and the aggression that he's had, because we talk about his pick and pop game. You don't know if that pop is going to be, I'm going to shoot this three, or actually I'm going to go ahead and turn you to the side, back you down. Now I'm in the paint. Okay, where's that double supposed to come from? Because we were doing something different defensively. The spacing, when they clear out a wing for him and he catches it mid post, okay, that's kind of like his version of lulling you to sleep with those two back down. So okay, hit, no one did anything. Okay, I'll go finish. So it just keeps defenses off balance.
And I think, just quickly bounce off of that, I want to hit on the pick and roll point very quickly on Nikola Jokić. Like, this is not new that he's getting the random early screens from Jamal Murray or Christian Brown or Aaron Gordon, et cetera. This is something that we've talked about before. But it is worth noting that the volume is up on those early screens. And it's been fun kind of watching him continue to just test out defenses. Let's see what you want to do. Do you want to switch? How clean is that switch? Are you trying to stay attached? How good is this navigation? I think that's where Murray and others deserve credit for them getting legitimate hits on some of these screens as well. It's not just them slipping out of there. That helps aid Jokić in creating advantages. But I think to that Clippers game, where, as you mentioned at the top, they didn't want to double team Jokić. They didn't want to put two on the ball for him. So it's just very much, all right, Mr. Zubats, or when Brook Lopez is in, okay, Mr. Lopez, how well are you navigating this screen? If you get thrown off at all, I'm just turning this into a drive and we're drawing fouls, or I can just kind of dribble into a post-up. That's neat. You get to the Kings game, it's like, all right, Mr. Eubanks. Oh, y'all are trying to switch more of these in the second half. Oh, okay. I'm taking you with me with a drive. Or, if you're trying to stay attached, I can just dribble into a post-up where, we talked about earlier this week, he has been the best post scorer or best post option in the NBA. He is leading the NBA in post touches by a very wide margin as of recording, and he's been insanely efficient on them. And so, there just isn't a great answer. So when you can just sprinkle those in, again, pick and roll volumes up for him, but that's still such a small slice of the pie, and he kills you with those two. What do you do?
I think the drives is really where you feel it a lot more, because it's just so very much, okay, you're defending Jokić, you push this catch out, cool, all right, let's see what we got. Turn corner drive, come with me, finish. Well, I didn't expect that. I think my favorite Jokić ones are when he, you defend the first action and he decides to throw it out to the perimeter, and I'm going to the paint and you're coming with me, and I would like a paint touch. Let's go ahead and get you deep in the paint. Give me the ball and let's see what happens. Or just when he gets a mismatch these days, hey, you're not in for a great time if they get the ball to him quick. And so I think the decisiveness, as far as, yeah, he can lull you, but there's also some of that real quick, a bop, hit, turn, great footwork, finish. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, you want to laugh real quick?
Yeah.
Over 1.3 points per possession on any trip featuring a Jokic drive too. Like it's all just good. The pick and rolls, the off-screen stuff, that's over 1.3 points per possession when he gets one of those. The post ups, the drives, the pick and rolls. And then kind of feels like a footnote to this point. We both mentioned it already, but then the passing, like he just sees everything. Even if you don't want to help, if you're off, if your breathing cadence changes, and you can't move your arm fast enough, that ball's whizzing by you, is going to the corner. Nikola Jokić leads the NBA in assists right now. He has 70 assists at the rim. That's normally just a guard stat. We're running pick and roll, we're tossing lobs, we driving, attacking the defense, puncture the paint, here's a lay down pass, whatever. Your center should not be close to the top of the league in this. Not only is Nikola Jokić number one, him and Cade Cunningham, I think, are the only two players as of recording over 50. Jokić at 70, I think it's Cade at 53. It's not close. Your center being insanely efficient in all three levels as a scorer is also producing literally the most fruitful assist that you can generate on top of this. It's unrivaled offensive production from Nikola Jokić right now. It is insane. And that's where, again, we had a full an overall Nuggets talk earlier in the week. It was also funny that I posed the question to you, Steve. Like, hey, you think Jokic is just cool, just playmaking right now, hovering around 20, 22 points, and he can just hit everybody else, and then just follows that up with 90 points in 2 games? He could
yeah, bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket. And then, yes, I will also pass. So I think it's hard to deny how great he's been to start and the comfort level that he's had with this team. You know, it's like almost like some pressure's been lifted off him to a degree. So now he's just playing even more. That sounds odd to say, considering how well he's played over this stretch. But like, he just feels like he likes everything that's going on in Denver.
Yeah. Like, I think he mentioned it, last year, that I feel like I'm playing the best basketball of my life. And now he's leveled up, potentially. Like, I don't know what you do with Nikola Jokić. I think that's the overarching theme here. What do you do? I tell you what, I'm going to have my eyes peeled on this matchup Saturday. We get Nuggets-Wolves on Saturday. Those historically been some pretty fun battles between those two teams over the last 2-3 years at the very least. Wolves defense quietly playing better. We talked a little bit about them struggling to start the year. They're probably going to have their hands full with Mr. Jokić. I know how you feel about the center matchup in particular, but
yeah, it ends with a 3. It ends with a turnaround hook shot. It ends with a fadeaway. It ends with the shuffle. Yeah.
Shout out Nikola Jokić. Shout out to the Denver Nuggets.